Hello, my name is Mystic, and we're here for another book review. And this is of The Giver by Lowry. I think that's how you pronounce it, Lowry. This book is, well, first off, I'd say it's a very deep and emotional book, and it really gets you hooked at the very end. So I'm going to give you my 3 things I love about it, my 3 things I don't love about it, and some additional things I want to talk about. So first off, 3 things I loved about The Giver. First off, let's start with the world. It's a very dystopian world. In the book, it's a very dystopian world. There is like a government, but like it's not a government, where there's the people and they have the power to release you, which means like the death penalty, kind of kill you, but they like kill old people. Why are they killing old people? I don't know, because I guess they're not useful. They kill twins. That's what releasing is. The whole book, you don't know what releasing means, but it's they're killing the old people and the children. So it's a very interesting world, and it really makes you think. Another thing I loved about this book was just the concept of the giver. This man who is selected to take memories from the previous receiver and just hold on to them so he can give wisdom and he can pass it on to everyone else. And no one else has these memories of the past except for him, because everyone else chose sameness. That is a really interesting concept. And Jonas as the receiver and their plan at the end is interesting. So I love the concept of the giver and the receiver of memories. Another thing I loved about this book was, I'm going to say, the Gabriel character. Not that he was particularly important to the plot of the book, but just that he was, at the very end of the book, the main driving point for Jonas. He was the one who kept him going. And, well, if I'm going to say Gabriel, I might as well just make the whole end my third one. So Gabriel / the end. Because the ending of this book, I liked it, but it's just confusing. Because you're left to wonder, did they die in the snowstorm at the end? Did they find a house where they're singing and celebrating? Or was it like just him dying? So I don't know, but that is something that you could try to, I think it's opinion. You're meant to make up the ending, not make up, but like decide as the reader on your own. So I would like to think that he survived, but he probably didn't, if I'm being honest, because they're in the middle of a snowstorm. 3 things I didn't like about this book. Okay, one thing I don't like about this book was, I just have to say that some of these chapters are pretty short, and the book overall is a short book. So I know my critique of The Shining was that it was too long. It was a 500-page book, and it didn't get the message, and it took too long to get message across. For The Shining, that was my critique. For this book, I think it was a little too short. I think the ending was a little rushed, because, come on, the message in this book is, I think it's deeper than the message in this book, but yet this book is 5 times as long. I was editing the video when I realized what I just said was kind of confusing, so I'm just going to explain that real quick. What I was trying to say is that The Giver is a very short book compared to The Shining, but the message and the point of The Giver, I believe, is much deeper than the one in The Shining. So the message is deeper in The Giver, but it's shorter, and in The Shining it's a lot longer, but the message isn't that deep. It's pretty surface level. That was my critique. That is what I meant. It was kind of confusing, but I'm clearing it up for you now, so you better subscribe, and I'm gonna go back to editing the video. So I think, yeah, this book definitely conveys a much more deeper meaning and message. So my second thing, which kind of connects to this, is that this book, it was short, and I think the ending, as I mentioned earlier, was abrupt. It was very fast. That planning thing was like one chapter. The plan was, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. We're going to get in a car, you're going to get food, and you're going to leave. And the memories are going to come back to the people, and the giver, me the giver, is going to stay here and going to like help the people get through this. Well, first off, that plan, they didn't even do it. Jonas just left with Gabriel earlier, like right at night when people were still around. So he left with Gabriel. And it just felt kind of abrupt. I think that might have been part of the thing, but it just came across as rushed, which, you know, is not the best thing. And the first one connected to the second one, and the third one is going to connect to the second one as well. So they didn't talk about what happened to the giver and the town after they left. They talked about the planes, but I never got to know. I want to know. I want to know. Oh. I want to know what happens. I want to know what happens. I want to know the giver, what happens to him, what happens to the town. I just want to know. It feels like, I guess he can't write everything, but I want to know. And I want to know, like, did the giver tell the town Jonas had died, like was in the original plan, or since he left early? And they were also searching for him, so did they think he was still alive and they're searching for him, or they're searching for like his body? Like, if so, because part of the giver's plan they talked about was telling the whole town that Jonas had died in like the river. So yeah, I don't know what happened there, if the giver just didn't like go through with that, or okay, real quick, I know this isn't part of the review, but who are the fathers? Who are the fathers to the mothers? Who? You like, is it like a sperm bank or what? Because who is the father? Because the mother is, that's a job for being a mother. Is a job for being a father? Like, how does this work? It does not explain this, and I want to know. But there is a movie. I have not watched the movie yet. I think I will watch the movie after this. After this banger book, I'm going to read the movie for sure now. No, I said read the movie, didn't I? I'm gonna watch the movie. I'm not gonna. Yeah, you know what I meant. You knew what I meant. You know. That is my review of The Giver. I'd say I'd give it 8.43 stars. Rounded up to 8.4. So I'd say I would give it a good 8.5 stars, 8.5 stars out of 10, because it was an exceptional book. It made you think, and I was really hooked at the end, but the beginning was kind of slow, and it is a short book, so it wasn't perfect, but it definitely was not the worst book I've ever read. And yeah, it's that's all I have to say.